up? Oh, come on, let me fix this. Something's crazy. Let me get this straight, man. What the heck is going on here?
All right.
Oh, there you
Hey.
go. You got it. You got it. Appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
This is the most crazy weekend I had ever had in my freaking life. I mean, we have Maduro being arrested. Now we have 2,000 agents going to Minneapolis, Minnesota, to investigate and remove illegal aliens.
And we know who's taking charge of that brigade, but we don't want to spoil. Stay
Yep.
tuned because we're just diving in. We had a whole schedule planned, but guess what? There's just so much news going left and right. We
I
just
know.
it's just so much to talk about.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We and don't forget to like and subscribe. Now that you're there, thank you for being with us today. Let me see my people on X. If you're on X, I really appreciate it. Thank you for joining us tonight. We are going to have a great, great, great show. So stick around because we are going to find out what is going on because this is a fast moving news. That's the news cycle is just like too fast to keep up sometimes. But this, I mean, besides everything that happening, we just find out that Mark Kelly, the big Hexaf, frees Mark Kelly's pension due to the investigation, the pending investigation on the alleged sedition that Mark Kelly was involved by telling active duty members of the military to disobey lawful orders. So it's gonna be. Mark Kelly was a line stepper. You remember that show from Dave Chappelle
Yeah,
when
he's a habitual line stepper.
habitual line stepper, but he stepped on the wrong line.
He's about to get smacked,
I
you
know.
know?
So yeah, let's play what George had to say because this happened a minute ago. Let's listen to this.
Decision in real time,
Puts a tremendous amount of burden on officers in the military, but that is their responsibility, and they can figure out. A reasonable person can tell something that is legal and something that is illegal.
so would you refuse these specific orders to strike drug boats if you were still in uniform?
Well, the difference between the initial strike and what is being reported, as a second strike, and those things are different. I think this administration has tied themselves in knots. The explanations that we have received on how.
If your roof has been damaged by hail, but insurance has denied your claim, I've got good news.
There you go.
How this is all legal. And I was saying weeks ago, my concern is with the service members, that we're gonna put these individuals in a really, really tough.
Yeah, that was what Mark Kelly did. Sedition, urging U.S. military service members to essentially overthrow the lawful orders of the president, to ignore lawful authority. And he thought he could get away with it. But now, ladies and gentlemen, Pete Hegseth, I just love this, just released amazing news 6 weeks ago. Senator Mark Kelly, who, by the way, did not win in 2022. That was a sham, just like the 2020 election. So him and 5 other members of Congress released a reckless and seditious video that was clearly intended to undermine good order and military discipline. As a retired Navy captain who is still receiving a military pension, Captain Kelly knows he is still accountable to military justice, and the Department of War and the American people expect justice. Therefore, in response to Senator Mark Kelly's seditious statements and his pattern of reckless misconduct, the Department of War is taking administrative action against Mark Kelly. The department has initiated retirement grade determination proceedings under 10 U.S.C. Section 1370, with reduction in his retired grade resulting in a corresponding reduction in retired pay. Pete, man, Pete just took his lunch money. This is exactly what happened. If you're in school.
Wow.
Whoa.
Dang. He took his
Man.
retirement.
Big Hexef does not play around. He throw the book at him, and now he's reducing his pay. I don't know. He probably reduce his pay to either lieutenant pay,
But
something
but
of that
but didn't he
sort.
just say he took his retirement?
No, he said they reduce the retirement. He didn't took the retirement away completely, but reduce
Ah.
his pay. So by basically like when you retire out of the military, you retire with a rank, right? That is your grade. Like if you retire 05 or
Oh, I get what you're
so,
saying.
they reduce that grade from 06 to 04. That means you are getting a less money now because you are in a different bracket. So that's what Pete Hexef did on using Article 10 of the UCMJ by reduce his retirement pay. He didn't take it away, but he reduced it, bro. And if he did that, I don't know if it's the administrative, it will remain or it is just a temporary because it could be either or. It could be permanent or it could be used as a temporary measure. So they can reduce it for 60 days. They could reduce it for 90 days. It has it has a limit. But if he did it permanently, it is a different ball game because now, even though Mark Kelly probably at the end he would try to upgrade it to the rank that he held when he got out. It's an uphill battle for that. You know what I mean? So it's gonna be rough for Mark Kelly. And remember that his rank, he's a pretty decent retirement. So just imagine your retirement be cut in half. It
And you're
hurts.
used to a certain lifestyle. Yeah, that's gonna be
Hurt.
a big ouch
It's humbling, to say the
for
least.
sure. Man, so the thing is, man, you can't do that. As someone as high up in the ranks, he
Mm-hmm.
should know better.
Oh
You
yeah.
don't do that, and for him to do that, and I know this is all theatrics because I know that the left is going to say, well, when we get power, we'll just reinstate and back pay that, which that might be true, but
Right.
the fact remains that the American people know and is exposed, and you guys will lose credibility, meaning the Democrats. And again, this is at some point this is going to get old going back and forth, but I will
Yes.
say this: so far, man, the Trump administration, as many bodies critiquing, look, Julio and the viewers, I just want y'all to know this: we were a little upset because when Nick Shirley came out and showed all this fraud, we thought to ourselves, we were like that one meme with the stick poking something. Come on, do something, like do something. Come on, Trump administration, say something. Trump was silent about it. He said here and there, but he was kind of like, nah, this is not my concern right now. And we didn't get it at the time. At the time, we were thinking like, well, man, that's BS. That's like the Jeffrey Epstein thing all over again. But then,
Mm-hmm.
boom, Maduro gets captured. What the heck?
Yeah.
If for all you guys know, that is something big. That's like Noriega our time. You know what I mean? Like we're living that. And the amount of time that it took to be able to mobilize, it's a lot of planning. So no wonder why Trump was like, oh my God, this is huge, but I can't. I'm trying to be focused, focus. And he was focused to the plan. And then boom. So now we have our own thought process. And before we get to the next segment, to like what now the Trump administration is doing from the first news that we heard about Nick Shirley and all this fraud, let's just stay with that now with Maduro. So Julio got an interesting perspective of his what you call it, your five plans or
Yeah.
of
I mean, like with Donald Trump doing his thing, he's very vocal on what he wants to do, but he's been holding back a lot because operational security and all that stuff. He had to be very careful, not saying anything. But anyway, this is my 5 points. I would say 4 or 5 of why Donald Trump is did what he did and the reason why. So reason number one is cutting funding for Iran, China, and Russia. They were getting free oil, literally. I mean, they were getting raw minerals like cobalt, diamonds, golds, whatever raw minerals Venezuela has, they were getting it for cents to the dollar. They're very cheap. So Donald Trump already took that away. My other point, number two, is BRICS. Donald Trump took whatever oil they have, they were planning to use to basically value their bricks. They're using the crude oil we're using for the petrodollar. They're about to do the same with the Venezuelan oil by supporting the BRICS, but not any longer. So now they have to buy the oil with American dollars. So that took that away. That's a big asset. I mean, that literally could destroy the BRICS uh, union altogether. I mean, their plans is already ruined. My third point is the Dominion machines. Dominion machines were created and owned by Venezuela way for almost 2 decades. You know what I mean? So this is a big deal. I mean, if Donald Trump get a hold of all these documentations, databases from Dominion machines and prior owners, that's a big deal. He could basically open a whole different set of problems for the Democratic Party because Dominion was allegedly being used for steal the elections. So this is a big deal. Number four is Donald Trump is basically cornering Colombia, Mexico, and Venezuela from outside influence. So now you cannot have Russian, Chinese, or Iran influence in the Caribbean. So Donald Trump is basically closing the gate and kicking everybody out, which is a huge deal. And also by cornering and cutting the supplies of drugs and all these drug cartels, now they feel the heat of Donald Trump is here to bring justice. And now you see Petro, the president of Colombia, running to the UN, basically calling for a reunion or a kind of like a emergency section to appeal for the UN to intervene. And basically, Petro is running you know, to somebody's back to not being bullied by Donald Trump. But I believe Donald Trump will attack either Colombia or Mexico probably at the end of the year.
Well, I will say that the Colombian president, he's puckering up because he's got all his troops in the border and stuff.
Yeah,
He's taking Donald Trump's threat seriously. But dude, think of this. We know Donald Trump's way he thinks just by his track record. So I will be with you on that 100%, Julio. Tim, no, I'm sorry, not Tim Walz, but they're the same people, anyways. Maduro and them, they're all scumbags. But
Oh yeah.
Maduro is gonna squeal. He's gonna squeal. He's a weasel. I already know it. We know it. And guess what? Guess what? Here's the thing. Knowing what Trump, the way he is, and his track record, and he wants to be proven right, Julio. He wants to be like, told you so. Boom, headliner. Trump was vindicated. That's what he wants, right?
Right.
He's been saying for years the 2020 election is rigged. So guess what? This implicates Maduro. I went through the list, and it's such a long list of charges that Maduro has. And three key points that I saw that was like, oh my gosh, was one, the racketeering, right? And the other one was there was one where he's partners with Mexico. Not, it doesn't say Mexico is, no, they're partners because what was going on was while Maduro was sending the drugs, the drugs were coming from Mexico to Maduro, and Mexico purposely didn't, I mean, there's videos apparently, but they're classified, but it's in the documents that they show that the Mexican officials are not even, they realize and they're like, you're good. And they go, they don't even check anything. They let these guys, so the government's complicit as a partner, right? And the other thing is the dominions. So then it got me thinking in the same thought process that Julio's thinking. Holy snaps. Donald Trump is going to make this guy squeal, because guess what? If he decides to make a plea bargain and say, you know what, I'll be loose on your sentencing, and guess what? I'm gonna just give me everything about the Dominion. Then guess what? The Attorney General, Pam Bondi, is going to be able to send people to investigate all these things that's with the Dominion. So guess what? Boom, names, places. So Maduro is in a tough situation because
Mhm.
Hillary Clinton has a track record also, but like Jeffrey Epstein, he
I know,
killed
I know.
himself,
Yeah, somebody told me that
so
today. Yeah, somebody told me that Maduro might get Epstein. I don't know.
and the thing is, again, because
I won't be
a lot,
surprised, but
if that happens, then we will see some Democrats in jail, because
yeah, yeah.
without a shred of a doubt, this guy's gonna squeal. He's gonna
I,
squeal. You know how I know? Because like the Joker says, I know a weasel when I see one, and this one, and he's gonna, and then that's when that guy hides, right? Because Maduro is a weasel. He's
he,
gonna snitch. He's a coward. His
yep.
soft belly.
And
So it's
remember,
gonna be interesting.
yeah, and one thing we have to remember: Donald Trump is a negotiator. He know which buttons that he needs to push to make something happen. And Maduro has everything to lose. He have no leverage, and Donald Trump has the entire leverage. He have the machine, he have the apparatus, he have the justice, or everything behind him. So I won't. I don't think Donald Trump would take the risk of going to Venezuela, extract Maduro without solid proof of what he claims. What he's claiming that Maduro did. So he will not take such a risk for a just to bluff. So this Maduro's gonna, yeah, he's gonna squeal and he's gonna sing every song in the damn album. What I mean? He gonna
Yep.
sing every song to the T. He will not skip a beat, and he will throw everybody under the bus. Mexican president, Mexican cabinet, Colombian president and cabinet, uh, corporations, you name it. Every politicians, everybody is going down, unless that we see in the with we get hit with unseen circumstances, which is Epstein.
Yep.
It may happen. I don't know. So it happened before. I won't be surprised if it happened again. But I hope Donald Trump and Pam Bondi took the necessary steps to prevent that from happening, because it would be a very sad situation for the U.S. after going through, like you say, like all the practice, all the preparation, months and months and months of preparations for a witness and accused, basically being
Yep.
Epstein within 96 hours. It's gonna be pain in the butt. It's gonna be bad. It's gonna be a black eye for the Donald Trump administration. You know what I mean? If that happens. But
It would be. Yeah, it definitely would be. But I'm sure again, Trump is shown to be very, very scary in the sense of master planning,
yeah, he's
because,
methodical. He thought
yeah.
about everything. I mean, and before we moving out to the next one, because I'm excited when you showed me the video of what's going to happen next. But just think about the preparation of going to a foreign country and removing the president and his wife out of their
Man,
house
I know.
within 3 hours, no casualties
No
in the middle of the
casualties.
night. We might, we got one helicopter that got a little, banged up a little bit, but was still able to fly. No U.S. casualties, but hundreds of the enemy casualties. That alone, it tells you the power of the United States military, the capabilities. I mean, that's have not been done in modern history. Such a feat have not been attempted or done in the last 100 years. It is insane. So Donald Trump pulled one of the greatest military operations in modern history
Yeah,
for
he
the
did. And you know what's the crazy thing is, um, you know, Donald Trump was so smart because he knew that, hey, if we go in there with boots on the ground and we start tearing up and blowing up the city, guess who's going to
Mhm.
have to fix that? We are. It's going to cost us money. We are. So then what he decided to do was, hey, you know what? uh, I'm just going to get this guy, get him out of there, snag him quiet in the night of day. I mean, in the night, in the early morning, and boom, that he executed so well that um, it just
Even people from the left are stunned, and they are
oh
basically they give him praise to Donald Trump. They because he did it so well. He didn't make no mistakes. It was perfect. But I guarantee you, if we would have a casualty or a plane or helicopter shut down, man, they would be talking about it for 20 hours straight, nonstop on replay. But that didn't happen. It was perfect executed military operation that our military and Donald Trump conducted. So shout out to Donald Trump, Pete Hexteth, uh,
but
General Kane. Man, they
yeah,
just
he was good. Yeah,
that
but
was that was a perfect operation.
here's one thing, Julio, that I want to touch real quick. uh I'm kind of nervous that there's half of the Democrats that are really happy that Maduro's captured, which again, in a normal in the normal way of the way we used to run our government, that's good. That would have been a positive thing, and it still is a positive thing. I'm
Mhm.
just so I guess so not used to it again, or whatever, but I can't help to think that they're excited because they're like, "Ooh, we're gonna get our guy in." Because under Maduro, really, no Democrat really benefited anything. It was just more like, hey, everybody, the Democrats had shunned themselves out of that deal. But now that they're gonna hold these elections,
Mhm.
who's to say that these Democrats are like making a deal with, you know, they're just trying to get in, because look at the fraud. They're always caught in this type of thing,
Always.
but
Now we're moving on to the next
yep.
subject, which is Robert. You brought to my attention like a beautiful set of news. What is going on in Minneapolis, Minnesota, as of today?
So here is the thing. I'm going to share this. This is an article from the CBS, and it says 2,000 federal agents deploying to Minneapolis um, in immigration crackdown and fraud probe. And then I'm just going to scroll this up because this is obviously X. But guess who's leading the charge? My boy, Greg Bovino. Oh man,
Mm.
he don't play. So obviously this little video clip is old, but just to say that it was a little bit a handful, but now that Donald Trump is already ready to mobilize and he's got his chess pieces in place, and the Democrats made a move, a stupid one, and
Mhm.
he's now seen that they're exposed. in one thing, and guess what? Donald Trump is moving in. But let me know, Julio, what do you think when I first told you about this? Like, what
Man,
was your
and
reaction?
you know
And I,
what? Finally, Trump is picking up. I think he was waiting. I guess I don't know. I think Donald Trump was waiting, just sandbagging, like we sometimes we call it, for the New Year's. It's like I want to start the New Year's with nothing but wins, and that's what he providing. Like we have Maduro gone, and like what the second or the third day of the year out of Venezuela. Now we have HSI and Homeland Security, Border Patrol Agency going to Minneapolis to fix the mess that all the crazy people have done in Minneapolis, messing up the whole state, a beautiful state. Now we having all these agents over there cleaning up the house like they did in Chicago, like they did in Washington, D.C. So I'm super excited to see everything evolving, moving at a better pace than we have in the last few months. So I'm looking forward for a better Minneapolis, corruption being rooted out, and people being arrested because people have been calling for arrest for the longest, especially since Nick Shirley discovered all the fraud in Minnesota. So people probably gonna get what they deserve. Arrest, more arrest, and people out of power because all this defrauding stuff need to stop. Honestly, it needs to stop. So I'm looking forward. I don't know you, Robert. Let me know what you think. I think Robert left for a little bit. So let me know, you guys. What do you think down below? Do you see this as a better year that we would expect it? In my end, I could not be happier. I couldn't be happier with Donald Trump actions. I mean, this is crazy. If you haven't subscribed already, please do so. This is all the handles. You can follow us on YouTube, X, all social media. Let us know down below. Let us know what do you think about Donald Trump taking action and fast action in Minneapolis, because in the next couple of days we're gonna see a whole can of worms being disposed in Minnesota and Minneapolis because a lot of people are about to go into jail. So, man, I can't wait for the people in Minnesota have their life back and not all the money and social resources being wasted and people that actually defraud our country and people and divert it to the people that actually need it, real Americans, veterans that are on the streets right now and they cannot even get a help because everybody else not from our country is getting all the help, which is stupid to let me know. So hey, thank you. I really appreciate it. Who's that? Gabby. Hey Gabby, appreciate it. Thank you so much. There we go. Just to kind of bring some joyful things. So let me see. What? Hold on. Let me go to X real quick because I saw another news on X. This is crazy. Let me see. Hey, here
yeah,
you go. You
sorry
back.
about that.
Are you
Hey,
good?
but dude, man, oh,
Oh, I saw a reel today. It is crazy. And one lady, I could not. I tried to bring it up. I tried to find it on my phone, but I couldn't. This lady, she made a reel about three things that Minnesota has in common, and I
really?
was like, what Minnesota have three things in common? George Floyd, Tim Walz, and Elon Omar.
Oh man, dude, hey, Tim Watson needs to go to jail. I'm being serious about that. I am
People,
still
people,
adamant
bro,
about that.
people
This
are
dude,
asking for it.
he needs to go to jail. I mean, and look, the only reason why I'm so adamant of him going to jail is, and not so much Elon Omar, like she
Hmm.
does too. And I don't know if everybody's seen our post, but apparently, so check this out. Yesterday, Elon Omar's husband has a
Oh,
company and he has a web page in his company. And in this company, he has names of clients or colleagues or work
Mm.
partners, and these names happen to be from a very special place in Africa, and these which is known Somalian. I'm just gonna say it, but and these people are the same ones that are under investigation with the fraud right now. So guess what he did yesterday? He scrubbed it out. He took that down, and um, like so the husband is showing signs of that he should go to jail, but Tim Walz for sure, and I will tell you why. Because he had three daycare centers where the phone numbers on the web page was linked to his phone number to his campaign.
Oh yes, I see
So
that.
he scrubbed it off. Now they took it down because thank God Ben Davis and Vino. No, is it Vino? No, man.
Vinny, yeah,
Vinny.
Vinny.
Man, I'm sorry, Vinny. He's probably gonna be like, bro, yeah, but Vinny, he does a good job. He did a good job and he even called on live streaming the places, and it was Tim Waltz, and they verified. Patrick Ben David, you know how he is. He's like, let's verify, zoom in the number, let me see. And sure enough, it was the number. But of course, it aired a few days, they took it down. Now you can't see a number on those daycares. And again, that's Tim Waltz. And what did he run for? Free daycare, subsidized by the government. And guess what? When Kamala Harris picked him, they had a record number from donations from Somalians. And guess what? Where did it come from? Now we know. The piggy bank of the Democratic Party, while you guys are suffering to pay for daycare, they're giving free money. And again, there was this one, Julio. Oh my gosh, this is frustrating. And I hope I'm not the only one that feels frustrated to hear this, but let's just say there was a daycare. Let's just say there were children in these daycares. And one of them, they have a reporting of 6 children max, right? And they received $3.2 million that year
For 6
for
kids.
6 children. Come on,
No.
bro. Yeah, it's seriously like, what the heck, dude? Like, really? Okay, and let's just say if it was $1.8 million, would you be okay for 6 children? I mean, really?
Not e not even 100K.
I mean, how much are they charging? I mean, like, dude, like I haven't done the math or haven't, and maybe it is that figure. I don't know, but man, I just
Yeah, that's like a half a meal for children.
yeah, for sure.
You're like at $750,000 per kid per year.
All I gotta say is that is infuriating because there's many families that have, um, they're busting their chops, and I don't know about everybody, but some people are living paycheck to paycheck. Some people are barely scraping by, and they're forced because of a certain lifestyle or even necessity. Maybe you're a single mother and you're working and you're paying for childcare,
Mhm.
and dude, these people were scamming using taxpayer dollars. This money could have been funded some way to help everyone. And
Yeah.
again, it's just, oh my gosh. And I don't know why they're not frustrated. You got Democrats saying like, "Oh my gosh, well, you went at this wrong time and this and that." We got a question here. It says, "What's your guys' opinion on the paid protesters that Julio posted earlier today?" Oh man, I'll tell you what.
That's
There shouldn't be no paid protesters. I
oh,
mean,
it
that
should be.
is just that should be a form of some sort of organized crime
Yeah.
because
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I see that. I see that angle. In my opinion, these people need to follow, we need to follow the money trail. Everything leads to money trail. We need to see who's behind everything because I guarantee you that money is being funneled with taxpayers' money. Taxpayer money. I guarantee you. It should, it's like the same in in Minnesota, they were using the child cares and daycare center as money laundering for the politicians because they were getting that money. The politician get a kickback out of that money because he
Wow.
allowed the Somalis to to rob us and defraud us,
Oh my God.
and they get that money back. No wonder why Elon Omar entered in 2019 with a $65,000 net worth, and now she's worth more than
Yeah,
$30 million. Like how?
that's
Like there's no way.
there's no
And these
way.
white protesters, man, they just come out of the woodwork with signage,
Well,
well elaborated signs like overnight, and like
yeah, like the Venezuela
somebody,
flags,
yeah,
crispy and all that, dude.
somebody is paying them.
But
Somebody is funding them. I guarantee you, man.
but here's the thing, Julio. Here's the thing, and I want to make this clear. And I hope this, if you're watching this, and
Hmm.
you think that what you see is not riots and their protest, what it says when Trump says he was going to drain the swamp, he meant it seriously, not a slogan, but as a commitment. Yeah, that's true, dude. But back to the real quick before we get into that topic, but the protesters, people, okay, if you are blocking the road, like if you decide to, like, if you didn't ask permission to the
Uh,
city to use the road, if you block the road, that is not protesting. That's a riot. That's under obstruction of traffic. That's a
interfering.
crime. That's a
Yeah.
crime. You having bricks is a crime. Throwing bricks, destroying property, that's a crime. That is no longer a protest. A protest would be like Dr. Martin Luther King, who got with the city and told them we're running, certain protests. Because there was some that they just marched through the street and then they got hosed down. I don't know if y'all remember that. Well,
Yeah.
that the thing is, there's ways to do it. If you're gonna protest,
Oh
there's,
yeah.
we're protected under amendment. You can, and see, these guys that are funding it, you would think they would do stuff like that. So apparently they're agitators and they're wanting to create chaos. That's where I'm saying that's a crime. And then they're on top of that getting paid by NGOs that are being funded by USDA, which we found out in Doge. Come on,
Mhm.
guys. I mean, like, the corruption is right there in our faces, and these people are so brainwashed that they just don't see it. So, back to Gabby's point, yes, Donald Trump was not playing. He made this commitment on his first administration. He completed 70% of what he ran on that campaign. The only ones that he didn't was, of obviously, the wall and drain the swamp, and also
Mhm.
lock her up. But he wasn't really going to lock her up. So that he's admitted that. But now this second term, it looks like he's delivering. He's already delivered 80% of his campaign promise. The only thing is he hasn't finished draining the swamp. And to be realistic, Julio, and I'm sorry,
You will
I know
never.
I
Yeah.
know I'm rambling a lot, but
Are you
um,
good?
the reason why Trump has not and probably will not get rid of the swamp is because, let's be real, the corruption is deep. It's been going for years, since the Rockefellers and since they started to change things in the country. So the corruption is deep. That's why you had the most, Julio, in your opinion, Elon Musk, is he a smart man?
I think he is.
Man, I know he is. You know what I mean? He's a smart
Yeah.
man.
He's a man.
And
Yeah.
he's a smart man, right? Okay, the smartest man so far was doing the corruption, and he gave up. And he said it blatantly. He said, "It's too deep. I'm afraid for my life. I'm out. I'm out,
Yeah.
man." The smartest guy today. Uh, it's in Spanish. It says, "¿Qué esperaban para arrestar esa gente?" Yeah, she's basically asking what were they thinking arresting these people,
Yep.
but I don't know.
Question. One of
One
my
of my
first
questions.
questions, if they are pay protection, how did they know Maduro would get caught and already have signs? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, we
Yeah.
saw the video of like
Because
Williams talking about it because the same morning, brother, the same morning,
they were
hours
quick. That
later,
was quick.
they already
They,
gathered people
they
with
even had
signs.
figurines. They even had figurines. Did you see the one where they're like, they had Maduro like a Superman? Did you see
Yeah,
that? I'm gonna see if I can find it. I'm like, dude, how did you like what? And you're
they were
handing
ready.
them out.
I guarantee they were ready for it. They were ready.
But
They didn't know what Trump is about to do it, but they probably pre-made all the signs and they were just like, just in case he get arrested,
I
we're
bet
going to
that guy
just
was happy. He's
yeah,
like, I spent the money the right way, you know?
no, and they just have everything ready. My opinion, they were already foreseeing it happening. They just prepared for it, got the people already. I guarantee you, when they arrested and Donald Trump posted in True Social at 5 o'clock in the morning when he posted he arrested Maduro, they already texting each other, meet me at whatever point we had to go, man. You know what I mean? They already have a pre-planning. So that's my opinion. They already have a pre-plan. It's a matter of time. When Trump did the move, they quickly reacted to it, and there's nothing organic about it. Nothing organic. It's everything is obviously a propaganda machine, paying, working behind the scenes, and this is a bad part. We are falling into the same mo as Russia, China, back in the 50s and 60s. We are getting indoctrinated, we are getting propagandized a lot by our media, social media, actors, athletes, politicians, corporations. It's like we have to be careful because these people are using every tool in the arsenal to to move people the way they want it, to change influence, and for their own benefits, and they're benefiting off of it. You know what I mean? They benefiting from the division that they causing. Uh, and everything now is about emotions, and that's what I tell a lot of people. Like, sometimes I'm not agree with Donald Trump, but you gotta see the actions. You have to judge the politicians by their actions, not what they're saying. Just look at their actions, and it will tells you everything. But a lot of people love to hear lies and false promises to make them feel good. So they feel warm and fuzzy and be like, "Hey, yes, he promised me like Ramadani. Look it up. He
Yeah.
promised me free rides, and he raised $3 the tickets. He upraised $3. Look it up. They just love to lie to people. They just lie. And I was talking to my wife just 1 hour ago, and I was telling my wife like the leftists or communist mentality do not like happy people. They don't like happy people. They don't like free people. They don't like wealthy people. They don't like people who work because they just full of hatred. They just so sour. Their life is so sour, so dim that they just want people being miserable. Honestly,
Yeah.
honestly, because
They
if they say you're happy with money, if they say you're with your family, with your girls, and have a natural nuclear family, they hate that because they want you single, they want you castrated, they want you miserable, they want you on the medications, they want you stressed out because the planet is about to die. They want you stressed out about Donald Trump. They want you stressed out about Maduro being arrested. Now it's a free Maduro shirts everywhere. Bro, they have Maduro shirts, like free Maduro. Like, why?
how do they printed that many shirts?
Bro, a few months ago, they were claiming no kings,
And
but now
they're
they're fighting
buying,
by
yeah.
one.
Yeah.
Like, and yeah, like it was a MRB. Yeah, you're right. Misery love company. They buddies. They just always hanging together. Man, that's what the left are. Man, they're just miserable. They just hate people.
And one of these, it's funny that you and your wife had that conversation. Me and my wife had this conversation too, because she was just like asking me like, man, how do you get New York and California wanting communism? And something that made me think in that conversation was, well, look, you got, if you go to New York or in California and you go to middle class, let's say like a good little condominium or house or apartment, and it's like 800 square foot. Depending on where it's at, it costs more than the other ones. But the same thing, they're both the same size. Like you can have an 800 square foot in the ghetto and an 800 square foot in the rich area, and it's crazy, right? But they're both 800 square feet. So that's why they're both okay with hearing the whole communism. Well, everyone is going to have the same thing, because guess what? I'm living in an 800 square foot and I'm happy. And that's all they know, because they're in this bubble. So that's why when they go visit Texas and they see like, wait, you own all that? That's all you, what do you want so many? Why do you want a 3,000 square foot home? Why do you want an acre property? Oh my gosh. And it's just like, and this I gotta hand it to Karl Marx. He was right about one thing. You can train humans, and these people are trained that way. Because see, Karl Marx believes that ambition is the root of evil, in it's all over capitalism, because you shouldn't want more than what you need, in his thought. He beehive mentality, basically. And I'm sorry. I mean, I don't want a 4,000 square foot home. That's too big for me. I I'm okay with the maybe 3,000 to 2,800 square foot home. And maybe that's not okay for you. Maybe you're like, man, that's a small house, brother. I want a
Mm-hmm.
4,000 square foot home. Or maybe you're like, maybe that's too much. I'm okay with an 800 square foot. Well, that's fine. Mind your business. I'll mind my business. I'm not gonna judge you. Don't judge
Yeah,
me.
exactly.
It's
Like
capitalism, you know.
you do you, I do me. You know what I mean? It's just like, and that's a big thing, man. That's why I love Texas so much.
Yeah.
Man. I love the people in Texas. I love like walking around and see people happy, and I love to see my friends doing well. I'm not jealous if you do better than
Yep.
me. I'm like, I care less,
Yep.
man. I'm happy that you're doing good. You know what I mean? That motivates me to do better. But all these leftists and communists, they hate that. They just hate it. They just hate people. They just hate to seeing people improve. They hate to getting better. They hate to see people going to work and get that money. They hate to see people getting married, like heterosexual couples. You know what I mean? They just hate you having babies. They hate
But
you having a new car because they want you miserable. They want you. They want you walking to work. They want you begging for food to the government. And bro, it is ridiculous. Nothing organic. Everything's a circus run by the leftists. Yes,
that's true. Yeah.
they're a bunch of crazy monkeys running the circus.
And one thing I want to touch up, and this might be a little changing the subject, but at the same time, it's still so. Like she said, everything is a circus ran by the leftists. And sometimes we need to be careful with our friends. I have a friend, and I hope he's watching this. His name's Matt Henry. And he is not right or left. He is like in the like in the Nick Fuentes arena, where you know um right or left, they're both the same, but here's the thing. The difference is, us Republicans, we vote on policy. What that means is the policies that are going to help benefit America and to conserve what we hold dear and value. Okay, what I'm trying to say with this is this. You have some Republicans that came out of the woodworks in 2016 to vote for Donald Trump, like my buddy Matt. But here's the thing. My buddy Matt wants things done, like he wants Epstein people arrested and all this stuff.
Wait,
He want everything what we want, and that's good. We all want that. But then he's like, you know what? I'm not voting because either one you vote is
The same.
pointless.
It's the same. Yeah.
But this is where the left is, and this is why I think that's a flawed thinking, because people like him and many people like that, they're like, we need a revolution. What we need to do is arm up and fight against the government. And again, I'm cool and for that too, because obviously we're almost at that peak. But here's the thing, that's not going to happen. You're not going to get American citizens. We're not at that point yet, and I don't think we were. We probably would have been at that point had Kamala won.
Oh,
We probably would be at that point, because the moment you start trying to take our guns away, that would be the point that we need to. But here's the thing, even if we get to that point, what got us crippled is the comfortness. And what I believe is that, and back to my whole point of this, if you believe that way, instead of not voting, giving the bigger evil more advantage, and the lesser evil who is actually running policy that is benefiting America. And that's why you just pay attention and try to vote by policy, not by feelings. Because then if you do that, then you're just like the left. You're not, I'm not gonna vote. Oh man, I'm not getting what I want. This and that. You're like a leftist, but on the right side, you're
mhm.
you're upset. You're instead, you know what? Let's get what we can, right? It's like a business, and you don't always get what you want. Donald Trump doesn't always get what he wants, and he's doing good, right? America, for years we were getting ripped off, and now we're not getting ripped off, and we're thinking like, oh, we can get everything. No, we're not going to get everything. That's the reality. We're not going to get everything. We're probably not going to get all of Jeffrey Epstein's friends, and we're not going to get it. And it's a sad, and I hate to be the buzzkill, but
But it is true, man. It is reality. It is reality. It is like corruption and all these PDF are so ingrained in the government, in corporations, in media that it's hard to fry them out. They probably, you know what, they will probably never be arrested in their life. They will die, they will get old, they will die, they will pass away. But you know what? They're gonna meet their maker in the other side, and they will
yep,
be judged by their actions. So I'm not worried about it. If they don't get caught here in Earth, don't worry about it. They will go to a place where they will be judged, and justice will be served. And I'm okay with that too. So thank you so much. We are going to step out for the evening. I got stuff to do. So thank you so
yep,
much, Robert. I love your insight today. Pretty deep. I like it. Let's keep it up. Thank you
yep. And
for those
thank you
in the chat.
guys.
Yeah, thank you though for those in the chat. Don't forget to like and subscribe, share this channel, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. I'm gonna post more reels tomorrow. So if you have any subject suggestions, so just let me know. Just drop it in there in the comments, and
And
I
if
will
you
do
want us to
it.
touch on something about, something that you want us to talk about and hear our thoughts, or see what maybe point of view, and maybe if you have some point of views you want to come to the show, hit us in the DMs.
Yeah, we might have you in. So anyway, thank you, Robert. See you tomorrow,
Yep.
brother.
See you tomorrow.